Hi everyone! I prepare videos to help my students score better in their STPM MATH T paper. I hope my video can be helpful for you too. Well, today I'm going to talk about a few tricks that I can use to solve trigonometric functions. Let's jump to the video. Now, the first thing that I'm going to use is factoring. To start with this question, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange this question into quadratic format. So what will I do is I will multiply this sine theta on both sides. So I will end up having something like this. Well, this can be arranged into 2 sine squared theta minus sine theta minus 3. This looks like a promising quadratic function where the x that we usually have is sine theta. So we can actually factorize this function as so. Now, this is the same thing that we do when we are factorizing quadratic function. Let me show you. Let's say if I have 2x squared minus x minus 3 equals to 0. So this is actually can be factorized into 2x minus 3 and x plus 1 equals to 0. Do you see the similarity? They are the same, right? The only thing is, this time, my x, the place of x is sine theta. Now, let's continue. Once you have something like this, the next thing that we need to do is, just like our quadratic function, we will make it equals to 0 each of this side. Okay, so 2 sine theta minus 3 equals to 0. So sine theta equals to 3 over 2. But however, 3 over 2 is a value bigger than 1. So we do not have an answer for theta here. On the other side, we have sine theta plus 1 equals to 0, which will give you sine theta equals to negative 1. So you will get a reference angle of 1 over 2 pi for theta. So this 1 over 2 pi for sine negative 1, theta is actually 3 over 2 pi. In this second question, I'm going to factorize out cosecant theta. So I'm going to get secant theta plus square root of 2 inside the bracket. So remember, this question wants us to solve from the solution from 0 until 2 pi. So we are going to set in cosecant theta equals to 0. So cosecant is 1 over sine, which will turn out to be no solution for this case. Now for the second part, we have secant theta plus square root of 2. So I will have secant theta equals to negative square root of 2. So secant is actually 1 over cos. So cos theta is going to be negative 1 over 2. Next, you will calculate the value of 1 over square root of 2. So that will give me 0.7071. Now, after this step, you will see in some book, they will write theta is equals to cos and then inverse 0.7071. And in some book, they will write theta equals to ARC, the arch of cos, and then 0.7071. Okay, why do they do so? This is actually to find the value of reference angle, which we will not write this during our exam, but we will hop over to our calculator and we will straight away calculate the value of theta, the reference angle of theta. So we will press shift and then we will press cos and then we will press 0.7071. Okay, and then we will press equals to. So we will get 45 degree. But unfortunately, in this question, they doesn't want it in degree. Remember, just now we have 0 until 2 pi, in the question. So they wanted this reference angle in the form of pi. So our reference angle is pi over 4. So now we will hop over to the plane and we will check out the use of the negative sign. Okay, so in the plane we have A for all in the first quadrant, all are positive. In the second quadrant, S sign is positive. In the third quadrant, T, tangent is positive. And the fourth quadrant, C, cos is positive. Okay, so now we want our cos to be negative 0.7071. So we want negative value of cos, which will be in this position. Okay, sine in quadrant 3, which is tangent the quadrant 3 there. Okay, the quadrant 2 and quadrant 3. So the reference line is going to be this value here, which is pi. Okay, which is pi. So the reference angle that we have is over here. Okay, it is going to be pi over 4 there, and it is going to be pi over 4 there. Okay, so it will be in our quadrant 2 and quadrant 3. So what will happen next is we need to find the value of quadrant 2. Okay, which means we need this angle over here, from here to there. So the reference angle is the pi. And the second answer, we will need the angle from, 0 here until this part here. Okay, so for the second quadrant, we will need to take pi minus of this part. Okay, we will take pi and we will minus of pi over 4. So we will get 3 pi over 4. For the third quadrant, because it's from 0 until here and pi over 4 is included, which means we are going to take pi plus pi over 4, and that will give me 5 pi over 4. So my answer is out. Okay, solution set, because if you notice just now the question did ask for solution set. Okay, let me show you back. Okay, find the value of 0 until 2 pi are in solution set, in the form of solution set for this question. So the solution set that I'm going to put in will be 3 pi over 4 and 5 over 4 pi. Okay, so that is for the second question. Now, for this question, I have a hint for you. So the hint is you need to do factor by grouping. If you have not seen my video on how to solve polynomials using grouping, I will leave you a link at the bottom in the description and you can check it out later. So the hint is using factor by grouping. So how do I do that? Now the first thing is I'm going to move this 3 over to the left hand side. So I will check what I can factorize from here. So I will factorize out 4 sine squared x for this 2 part here. So I will end up with 2 sine x plus 1 because I have taken out 4 sine squared x. Okay. For this part over here, I have 6 sine x minus 3. So I'm going to bring out 3. So I have 2 sine x plus 1. So both of these are the same. They are exactly the same. So I'm going to factorize 2 sine x plus 1 out. So I will get something like this. And end up on the other side of the bracket will be 4 sine squared x minus 3. Okay, factorization is done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to split this into sine x, 2 sine x plus 1 equals to 0. So sine x equals to negative 1 over 2. And 4 sine squared x minus 3 equals to 0. So sine x is equals to plus minus square root of 3 over 2. Okay. Okay, next thing is I'm going to find the value of x. So to find the value of x, I will need the reference angle for x. So how to find the reference angle again? So I'm going to go over to my calculator now. Okay, so I will need to find sine x equals to 1 over 2. Remember, we don't need the negative yet, and later when we search for the angle of x, then we need the negative as our reference. So now I'm going to press shift and then sine and then 0.5, 1 over 2, 0.5. Okay, so I'm going to press equals to, so that will give me 30, okay, degree, but I want my answer in pi form, so my reference angle is going to be pi over 6. Okay, now I'm going to jump over to the values. Okay, so my angle will be here. So I have my okay, so I'm going to have that. So this time I need my sign in negative. So sign negative, I will have quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. So the reference line that I'm going to use will be pi here, and the second one will be 2 pi there. Okay, and my reference angle will be here. I have pi over 6, and this side always use the reference line. Okay, don't go and draw it over here. So this will be pi over 6 also. Okay, now for the we will go quadrant by quadrant. So for the third quadrant, I'm going to go from here, which is 0. Okay, 0. So I will go from here until the third quadrant. So I will stop there. So which means whatever I need in my third quadrant is pi plus pi over 6. So I will get the answer as pi plus pi over 6, 7 over 6 pi. Okay, now for the next one is quadrant 4. So let me change color again. So for the next one, I want quadrant 4. So quadrant 4 will be from here. Okay, so from here until there. Okay, so the reference line is 2 pi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 pi and I'm going to minus out, because this is in this red area, pi over 6 is not included. So I'm going to take 2 pi and then I'm going to minus pi over 6, and I will end up with the answer 11 over 6 pi. Okay, so I'm settled with one side. Now, going to the other side, I will have plus minus square root of 3 divided by 2. So the same way, I will find the I will press the calculator and I will get a number in degree and change them to pi. So I will have 1 over 3 pi. So let's check out this part. Okay, I'm going to clear the board first. Okay, for this case, I will notice my sign value, the sign value that I get is all in, okay, plus minus. So which means all this will be in for my sign. Means I have the value, oops, sorry. Okay, so okay, that will give me, okay, sine positive and sign negative, because according to what we have here, okay, if you look at this one, you will notice they want both the sign positive area and negative area. Okay, so not area, sorry, positive sign and negative sign. So when we look at our position here, my reference line will be 0, and then I have 2 pi. Okay, 2 pi, and over here I will have pi. Okay, so what I'm going to use here is all the position from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2 until quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. Okay, and the reference angle will be here. Okay, so I have pi over 3 there, and I will have there. I also have pi over 3 there, and I have this part, which I have pi over 3 again, and finally this part, which I have pi over 3 again. Okay, so I'm going to go angle by angle. So the first quadrant that I'm going to need is the first quadrant, which I already have the answer, pi over 3. Then I need to go for the second quadrant. So the second quadrant will be, I will have from 0 here, and I will go over until here. Okay, until here. So to do the second quadrant, I will take pi minus pi over 3, then I will get the angle over there. So I will get pi minus pi over 3 equals to 2 over 3 pi. Okay, the next one will be this part over here. Okay, let me change color again. Okay, so that will give me from here until over here. Okay, so that will give me the value of pi and then plus pi over 3. So I will need pi plus pi over 3, so 4 over 3 pi there. And finally, I will go from here, 0, and I will move until here. Okay, so that is the place of angle that I need. So from 0 until here. But my reference line now is 2 pi. So I will take 2 pi minus pi over 3 to get the angle and the fourth quadrant. So that will give me 5 over 3 pi. Okay, so now I'm going to write that in. So I'm going to clear that first. Okay, so I'm going to write the final answer, and I'm going to arrange all of them in the correct position. So the set solution from the smallest angle arranged until the biggest angle. Then I'm done. Okay, so this question is done. Now, in the in this next question, I'm going to use quadratic formula. There are some of the functions, trigonometric functions, same like quadratic functions, you cannot factorize them. So if you can't factorize them, then what you need to do is, you are going to use the quadratic formula method. So that is my quadratic formula. So I'm going to take out what is A, what is B, and what is C, and I'm going to dump it into the quadratic formula. Okay, with this, I will have answer something like this. Okay, and I will press calculator, and I will get something like this. Okay, I will have two sets, 0.4574 or negative 1.4574. Now, for the first part here, for sine B equals to 0.4574, like usual, I will press the calculator. So shift and then, sorry, I didn't on it yet. Okay, there you go. So shift sine 0.4574. Okay, and I press equals to, so that will give me the reference angle. Okay, I believe just now the question asked for degree, so this answer is in the form of degree. Okay, so 27.22 degrees. So I will just take from the calculator. Okay, so calculator done. And then I need to check the quadrant again. So like let's go on to the quadrant. So I will have, oops, sorry, I forget about the pen. Where's my pen? Okay, there you go. So I am going to write it here. So I will have my quadrant, I have positive, right? So I'm going to need my angle as quadrant 1 because I want positive sign, and the second one over there, and my reference angle at always refer to the line, this line. So I have 27/22 degree. Okay, 27.22 degree. Okay, so the reference line is going to be 180 degree for this side and 0 for this side. So because I didn't go to quadrant 4, so I don't need to bother about the 360 degree. Okay, so for quadrant 1, sign positive, of course I will get back the answer 27.22. But for the second part, I will need to go over to the second quadrant, and I'm going to get the angle as from this line here until here. Okay, so from that line there, so which means I'm going to take 180 degree and I'm going to minus 27.22 degree, and that will give me my answer 152.78 degree. Okay, so I'm done with that. So let me clear the board. Once I got that, I have another part there. So I have sine B equals to negative 1.4574, which I could not get any answer from there. So there's no solution from there because, okay, because this one, the maximum value of sine is 1 and the minimum value of sine is negative 1. So that already exceeds what I needed. So there's no solution over there. So the question asked to the nearest degree just now. So what we are going to get is B is 27 degree. Okay, 27 degree, and also 153 degree over here. Okay, so that's question done. The next thing that I'm going to use to solve a trigonometric function is by using substitution. So the substitution, usually when we could not solve this question, like for example, if I squared both sides, or when I squared this, it will not solve my problem. Okay, I cannot get rid of this square root. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to substitute something else into the question. So for example, I'm going to substitute u equals to square root of sine x, and sine x equals to u squared. So I'm going to put that into the position. So the place for sine x will be u squared, and the place for square root of sine x, I'm going to get u. I can factorize this now. Okay, so I will factorize that, and I will get 4u minus 1 equals to 0. So u is equals to 1 over 4. And the other side, I will have 3u minus 1 equals to 0. U equals to 1 over 3. I need to put back my values inside. Okay, the sine square root of sine x equals to 1 over 4. So sine x is equals to 1 over 16. and I need to find the reference angle for this value. So the reference angle this time, okay, let me check the question. This time they want the question in decimal places. So when they want it in decimal places, when I do the calculation, okay, the mode of my calculator, let me on it first. So the mode of my calculator will go from degree to radian. So I will go to radian. Okay, I will press 2 there. So I'm going to press shift and then sign, and then I'm going to go 1 over 16. Okay, so I press equals to. So that will give me the reference angle that I want. Okay, so let's check it out. So 0.625, right? So that is my reference angle in decimal places in radian form. You cannot get decimal places from degree form. Of course, you can get decimal places from degree form, but according to the question just now, okay, let me get rid of the calculator. You want it in the form of pi, which means that is radian form. Okay, so you will get the radian form from there. So my reference angle now is 0.0625. Okay, so sign positive. Okay, like just now we know, let's go in to the quadrant. So I have sign positive. I'm going to do this fast. So here it will be 0. So my sign positive is here and here. First quadrant and the second quadrant. So sign positive will be there and there. So this angle will be at 0.0625 and over here 0.0625. Okay, so this one is pi, this one is 0. So in the first quadrant, I just need to copy that 0.0625 radian. In the second quadrant, you already shown you a few times. So it is actually from here, okay, until there. So which means I will take 180 degree, my pi actually. So minus 0.0625. Okay, so I will get in the second quadrant 3 points. My pi is 3.142 minus 0.625. So I will get 0.0791. Okay, I'm done one side. Okay, let me clear the board. Right. Then I need to hop over to the second one, which I will get sine equals to 1 over 9. Also positive. So reference angle, again, I just press the calculator. So inverse sine and then press 1 over 9. And then I will get the reference angle as 0.113. Okay, so when you answer the question at the time, always read the question, whether they want it in degree form or in radian form. If they want it in degree form, you turn your calculator, the mode, okay, the mode of the calculator. So let me clear that. If you want degree, so you go to the mode of the calculator, you enter degree. Okay, degree. So if you want, like for this question, they want in radian form, so the calculator mode is radian. So you just press 2 and it will transform to radian. And if you want it in degree, again, you will press and press and press, and then you find degree and you press 1. Okay, so that is how you use your calculator. So for this case, they want in radian form. So I will press and I will get the reference angle as 0.113. Okay, time to go to the quadrant. So my first quadrant, because sign is positive, so that will give me my first quadrant and also the second quadrant. Okay, so I'm not going to draw the quadrant again because it both of them looks almost the same. So Next thing is I'm going to go for the final answer, where I'm going to arrange all the answer in one solution, okay, in one line. So the solutions are, so I will choose from the smallest number to the biggest number. So I will arrange them nicely. I'm done. Okay. Now, other than this type of substitution, there are also substitution which need you to remember all these formulas. Right, all these formulas. Some are given in the list, some are not. So you need to check with your teacher the formula list. Okay, get it from the teacher, the STPM formula list. Which one is given, which one is not. If it is not given, you need to memorize them. If it is given, then good, you can apply them. But I do believe memorizing the formula make it easier for you to recognize the formula needed when the question is given. That is my opinion. Okay, so it is best to memorize the formulas. So many of them. Okay, now let's go to this question. So they say solve this equation, finding all solution from 0 to 2 pi. So the answer is in radian form. They didn't mention about the decimal places. So you can put your answer in pi form. Okay. So I'm going to go for this one. So this one, I'm going to change the this one. I'm going to substitute with this formula. Okay, so my A is 2x, my B is 2 pi. And I'm going to go for the negative, so which means tangent A minus B. Okay, so I'm going to use the minus, so the top portion is minus, the bottom portion is plus. So I'm going to change it with that formula. And for this part, cotangent T, I'm going to change it with 1 over x. Okay, so I'm going to end up something like that. Okay, next thing is, I'm going to try to solve that. So my tangent 2 pi, okay, tangent 2 pi, I can press the calculator or I can just remember the graph of tangent. Okay, so tangent 2 pi is at 0 there. Okay, so here also I will get a 0. So I will end up with tangent 2x, tangent 2x equals to 1 over tangent x. Okay, now this and this, they don't have the same angle. Okay, this is 2x, this is x. So I need to change tangent 2x to a smaller angle. So I have to follow tangent x. So I'm going to use this formula. Okay, I'm going to substitute again. Tangent 2x to 2 tangent x over 1 minus tangent squared x. Okay, so now I need, once they are all in the correct form, I need to rearrange this equation. Rearranging this will create something like this, and I can simplify this as tangent x equals to plus minus square root 1 over 3. So now I have plus minus, which means I need all the quadrant. Okay, so I need to find the reference angle first. So I'm going to press the calculator like what I showed you just now and find the reference angle as pi over 6. Now, once that is done, I need to check out my, let me change this again. So I need to check out, for this time, I need my all the quadrant because it's positive and negative. So again, I'm going to go like this. Okay, and then for this case, I will need all the quadrants. So I will have one here, one there, another one, and another one. So here will be pi over 6, and over here pi over 6, and again pi over 6, and again pi over 6. So always refer to this line. Okay, so this reference line is pi. This reference line is 0, but because I need here, so I have another one which is 2 pi. Okay, so I have two sets there. Now, what I'm going to do now is, of course, I'm going to find the first quadrant, the second quadrant, which is pi minus pi over 6, the third quadrant. Okay, the third quadrant. Okay, let me change color and let you make it clearer. Okay, so the first quadrant is pi over 6. The second quadrant, I will need from here until, oops, overload. Okay, so until here only, right? And then for the third one, the third quadrant, I will need from here until there. Okay, so that will be pi plus pi over 6. And next, the last one, in the last quadrant, I will need from this line over here, 0 until here. Okay, there you are. So that will be, of course, I cannot calculate from here, so I need my 2 pi. So in fourth quadrant will be 2 pi minus pi over 6. Okay, so let me clear that off and write down the solution for you. Okay, so the reference angle for me is first quadrant, pi over 6, like we see just now. Then in the second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. Right, so now my final answer, I'm going to arrange all of them properly. So the solution is from 0 to 2 pi will give me pi over 6, and copy all this down. 5 pi over 6, 7 pi over 6, and 11 pi over 6. I'm done. Okay? Now, in this question, although I write that different angle measure, I'm talking about these angles over here, but actually in the previous example, you can rewind and see we have tangent 2x. So, and tangent x. So we actually have different angle also, but I'm going to repeat this again here. But I'm going to substitute the formula for cos 2 theta. Okay, so to the nearest degree, so I'm going to use cos 2 theta. But you notice that cos 2 theta, we have 3 different formula. So you have to choose carefully. When we want to solve any quadratic equation, there's only one trigonometric. Okay, we cannot have like sine and cos mixed together. Not here. If you want to factorize this or you use the formula, we try to make it into one quadratic. So we don't use this first one or the third one. So I want 2 cos squared a minus 1. So I'm going to choose this, and I'm going to substitute at the position of cos 2 theta. So all of them are the same now. I will rearrange this, okay, and then I will try and see, can I factorize this one? If I can't, then I need to use the quadratic formula. So that is my formula over there. So I need my A, my B, and my C. Okay, once I'm done with this, I'm going to dump it in, and then I'm going to calculate. So I have cos theta equals to 1.366, or cos theta equals to negative 0.366. Now I'm going to get cos theta equals to 1.366, which I cannot get a solution because the maximum is 1 and the minimum is negative 1 for cos theta, for cos. So I'm not going to get any solution from there. So I'm going to go over to the second one. So it's cos theta equals to negative 0.366. So again, I'm going to press the calculator in degree form. So this time I'm going to get 68.53 as my reference angle. Alright, so cos negative, okay, cos negative, sorry. So cos negative will be in which quadrant? So let's check it out. So okay, so I'm going to have a cos negative. So cos negative, I will have it here, okay, in the sign for second quadrant and the third quadrant. So I want my cos to be negative. My reference line for this time is going to be this 180 degrees, since they want it in degree, and my reference angle will be here 68.53, and over here 68.53. So I have two reference angle there, because I have in cos negative, okay, for cos negative. So so I'm going to need the quadrant. So I will have, okay, sorry, let me get the color. Okay, so I will have my angle that I need is from here until there. Okay, so I will get that one will be 180 degree minus this value. So that will be my second quadrant. Okay, and then for the third quadrant, I'm going to have, this from here until there. Okay, so which means I'm going to take 180 degree, I'm going to add the 68.53 degree, which is my reference angle. Okay, so oops, let me clear that away first. Right, so what I'm going to have next is I'm going to arrange all the answer together, and because the question asks for the nearest degree, so I'm going to have them in as 111 degree and 249 degree. Now in this question, I have 5 sine y cos y equals to 2, and I have to think of a way to I can't factorize this. I can use the quadratic equation either, and I can't even substitute anything yet. Okay, so what I need to do is I know there is a formula which have 2 sine y cos y, so I have to readjust the numbers. Okay, so I will bring it over and then I readjust the numbers. So now I can see the pattern of the formula. So I can actually have this formula, sine 2a equals to 2 sine a cos a. So my equation can be substituted with sine 2y. Okay, so now I have the angle. Now I have a double angle 2y here. So I need to check with the one that they gave me. So the one that they gave me is y. So I have my from 0 until 360 degree, but my 2y I can go until 720 degree. So I will check the range first, okay, before I find my reference angle. So reference angle is still the same. I will press calculator, shift sign, and then I will press 405. Now the reference angle, I will press calculator and then I will get 53.13 degree. Okay, because I want them in the form of degree. Then now I need to check out the quadrants, okay, because I want sign positive. So I will go over here and I want the sign to be positive. So first quadrant, second quadrant. Okay, so I don't want to see the third and the fourth quadrant. I do not need to do anything about that because I want sign positive. Okay, next thing is my reference angle. So that is the two position there. So I have 53.13 degree, and I have here another one. Okay, now is the reference line. So I have here, for the first one, I have 0 degree. Then I have 180 degree. But just now we check the range. Okay, we check the position. And we want another round because this is 2y. So I will need a second round, which is 360 degree here. And I need another one here, which is 540 degree. Okay, so I'm going to check out one by one. Okay, let's check it out. So, but I'm not going to write like what I wrote just now, first quadrant, second quadrant, and so on. This one, because I want to show you there's another way of writing the answer, which is save a lot of time anyway. So, my first quadrant, in my first quadrant, that will be 53.13 degree. So for the second quadrant, the second one, 180 degrees. So I will have from here until there. Okay, so I will have 180 degree minus 53.13 degree. Okay, so next one I will have this one over here, which is 360 degree. Okay, so 360 degree. So I will have all this because this is a second round. So this from here all the way until there. Okay, so which means I will take 360 degree until and add another 53.13 degree. And finally, I will have another one there. So I will go from 0 and then I'm going to go around until there. Okay, can you get it? Okay, so until there. So that will give me 540 degree minus 53.13 degree. Okay, so I will have that inside my calculation. Okay, I will put them all together. So I do not, like when I write this way, I do not need to write quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3. Okay, so I don't waste time because just now I'm teaching you how to see the quadrants, so I wrote it out. But during exam, you can straight away write them in one line like this. Do not need to write quadrant 1 is what, quadrant 2 is what. Okay, now once this is done, I'm going to calculate the answer. So I'm going to calculate the answer. Usually I will tell my student to calculate downwards, so which means I have 53.13 degree. So the 2y, I will get 53. So when I have this, straight away I will press the calculator. 53.13 degree divided by 2, I will write the answer down here. Now when I calculate 180 degree minus 53.13 degree, so I will get my answer and I write it down. And from the calculator itself, I will press divide by 2 and write the answer at the bottom. Okay, so which means I don't calculate all these values here to the right hand side, but I calculate downwards. So that will save you some time when pressing the calculator. So you don't need to press like 413.13 degree again to divide by 2. So once you calculate from here, you write down the answer. From your calculator, you divide by 2, then you go downwards. Write the answer down here. Okay, that will save you a little bit of time, but it is good enough. Alright, so in my next coming video, I will be talking about trigonometric equation for our formula. So stay around. Subscribe if you have not subscribed to my channel. And please check out the teachers collaboration playlist in there. There is already more than 100 plus videos in there, and there is also like 3,000 plus viewers have visited to the playlist. If you have not been there, please do so. Okay, there's a few subjects there. I have a chemistry teachers, I have physics teacher, and I have accounts teacher and a bio teacher. Okay, making videos for you. So please check it out. See you next time. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Bye.